If you're a personal trainer or online coach and you know that you've got a bunch of clients, but they all feel like individuals rather than gelled together and part of something bigger, then today we are going to unpack the single biggest play you can make to double your retention rates and keep people staying and paying for longer. To do so, I have solicited the help of my friend Ben, who runs WeHackHealth. Let's get into it. And I want to just preframe this whole conversation to say Ben and I run what I would consider to be pretty wild client events for our niches, but it wasn't always that way because we didn't have the time, the resources, and everything else to make that happen. So what we're going to do is have a conversation about where it started all the way through to what's going on now, so you can see what client events have looked like over the years so that you no longer have to question what the fuck you're doing and how to do it. So question number one, Ben, is what are we at right now? Run me through why we're even here.
This is the, I guess, third edition of the Belfast event, which in itself is wild. We got 5 days. We got 22 people from all over the world. Currently what is happening is Lorena is doing some mobility. We just wrapped up. Sean did his mindset piece this morning. We're going to do some gym stuff later on. Grace, my sister, is going to do some chimp paradox mindset motherfuckery. Tomorrow we're going to do a little bit more of the same. Helmi's coming down to do some biomechanics stuff. And then the top secret thing and the reason that you're actually here will happen on Friday. This event specifically for me is redefining once again how I do events to challenge them in person, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever comes off the back of it. And the biggest thing for me with events is merging the digital world, the virtual world, with the in-person world. Yeah. Everybody is online. The jobs that my clients do are very much by themselves. They sit at their desk, they're by themselves. So bringing that all together. So we're here in Belfast.
So with 20 people from all around the world, we're trying to merge physical and digital. Shout out to my old boss for the term phygital. You can have that one.
Nice.
So that's the plan. But what I want to do is, if that's where we are now, let's go right back on the timeline to the first time that clients got in a room physically, not for personal training. Like you was no one-on-one. It's more than one person in a room. What did the very first thing that you ran? I don't even know the answer to this. Look like.
Well, I go back even before a WeHackHealth event. I think the first event I did was a Christmas party, and my observation was I didn't want to just take people out for dinner because I was the only common denominator and nobody fucking knew anybody bar everybody wearing BC training hoodies in the gym. And we did a cookery school similar to what we did last year. Yeah. But it was much easier for me to do that because I could just pair them off and they don't have to fucking deal with 20 people. So we did a cookery school and then we went and got fucking pissed, and that was it.
Okay, so even back then you knew it was important.
Yeah, for sure.
The reason I was laughing when you gave your answer is obviously my first event was also Christmas dinner thing.
Yeah, of course.
Except for mine was actually Christmas dinner.
Right, okay.
Right, so we went out. It was actually breakfast. We did the Christmas breakfast, the classic. We took them and we did there's a Santa run 5K thing in Edinburgh where you dress up as Santa, you run 5K, it goes to charity. Figured that was a good excuse to get people doing something, but then I took them out for steak and eggs for breakfast at the steakhouse. We did that. I know my reasons for doing that, but what were yours at that moment in time? Like why did you even think it was important to get your clients in a room?
I think for me, I have always seen, before even coaching, I've always seen the importance of bringing people together in whatever capacity that it was. Sure. The business, we'll call it, that I ran before, it was just getting people together and getting fucking blocked. And I don't know where I have, maybe Trish is to blame for this, of bringing...
I'm going to pause you. Just to translate so far, blocked is pissed or drunk if you are not from Northern Ireland. It took me many years of knowing Ben to know that. And Trish is his mum. There we go. Please continue.
I think we can both agree. Trish loves a party and is a great host. So I guess that has rubbed off on me. But I've always seen the value in bringing people together and putting people in the same room that necessarily wouldn't find themselves in the same room.
What is that value?
I guess conversation. The friendships that are forged,
okay,
the ability to meet people you would never meet before that have potentially similar interests, strengthening being a part of something. I guess it is the going to the event, being a part of something. I guess how it came about, I think back to when I coached in the gym floor, BC training hoodies, that was the only way that other clients could see who the other clients were.
One of us.
Exactly. And it was very apparent in the gym. But that was it. There was like, I can see you. I acknowledge that you're a person.
I probably won't talk to you because I don't know you and it's fucking weird, but you get the nod.
Yeah, one of us. After the event, because of the friendships that were formed, then started training together and it sort of evolved from that point. So it's the bringing people together.
there's so much in this. I'll touch very briefly on the fact that I said to Sarah this week, one of the things I would say that you are best at is hosting. There's a generosity and all that stuff. So I do think shout out to your mum for that. You definitely got it from her. Shout out to Trish. But the bringing people together is so important in a fitness business because you've pointed it out. It's like they're all silos in the business. So for a coach who is starting out and has Susan in at 6, Sally in at 7, Colin in at 8, like you say,
they have the overlap because they come back to back. That's the most interaction that they have.
And they get the nod.
Like,
and
good luck, that one.
Yeah. Oh, he's in a bad mood today. Like, but you're right. Connecting them is so important because when people are connected and they have those friendships and then they join up out with of you having to facilitate that, that's when someone truly believes they're a part of something bigger than Ben does personal training at 6 a.m. with me on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And when people feel like they're part of something bigger, they choose to stay. Moreover, what I see you do very well with events is when the event and the business and the thing that's bigger than them that they're part of becomes the home for their evolution. Why would someone leave that?
I guess I'll go back to a conversation I had with Dill this week. We're sort of trying to step away from the community thing because I feel like everybody has a community. Who gives a fuck? For this specifically, it's identity. It becomes a part of their identity. So wearing the hoodie, representing it, it becomes a part of their identity, and they don't want to change that. They will stay a part of it.
And that's the exact line that we use in the OC is what people don't leave the place that if they build their identity in this place, why would they choose to leave? Which is why we've worked with a few coaches who've been professional athletes and they've really struggled to re-assimilate into what I joke like civvy life. It's like they've come out of the military, which is another good example. We have that sub niche. We've got both military, ex-military, and we've got both sporting professionals. They had the badge on their chest that meant they were part of something bigger, which is the BC training hoodie. Yeah. I still have one.
Good, shout out.
But what happens is there's a brotherhood. There's a cult, right? Let's just cut to the chase. It's a cult. Yeah. So if that was your first event, how did the events unfold over the years? Like how the fuck did we get from Christmas dinner that's not Christmas dinner to 20 people just flew transatlantic to come to a gym in Lisbon in the middle of fucking nowhere?
So I guess that sort of brings us into when I coached BC training, the events ran like that. We went out, there was nothing beyond that. And maybe did something in the gym that was a little bit educational.
Well, here's a question on that to interrupt though. How much were you spending then on that event?
Like maybe £50 per person, maximum.
And how many people were turning up?
12.
Okay, sweet. So it wasn't a huge amount of money?
No.
Okay, I had 6 in my first one.
Nice, good.
Yeah, it was probably 50 quid.
Yeah.
So the expense was low?
Yes.
It's not now?
No,
okay,
it is
let's go on
colossal.
I just want to point that out for the sake of it. I'm listening thinking, how the fuck am I going to do this? It's not the money. It's how you leave someone feeling. What's the feeling that they have, which we've covered as community, is belonging, is identity, is evolution.
Being a part of something.
Right, so the very first thing you can do is remove the expectation that you need to hire a gym, buy them all merch. It's not the stuff. It's not the shaker with your logo. It's not the hoodie with your logo. It's the feeling. It's the one-on-one time, the connection, and then forging the, I'm speaking to Thomas downstairs, say I'm running the event, and I'm like, oh, you don't know so-and-so. Let me introduce you to Lorena, Thomas, Lorena, you guys, you chat on this, and then I just fucking smoke bomb looking to chat. I just want to point that out because I know someone listening is thinking, oh, fuck, how am I going to do this? But so what were the stages of evolution?
There was more of that coaching in the gym. I didn't really know any different. I didn't have it was just the bringing people together. And from a former life, the getting drunk together was the thing that I did. And I was I can do that. I'm good at that. And that sort of broke down the barrier. And it sort of, I think that a coaching relationship from a client perspective, they always want more time with the coach. So the event gives that as well. They see them in a different capacity. They see the other clients in a different capacity as well, not just in the gym. So it sort of breaks down those barriers. Thinking back to the start of the WeHackHealth event, so this is our 15th WeHackHealth event. Shout out to Tyler, who has been to all 15. Like, what the fuck? The first one we did in Cleveland. I think I had maybe 11 people. We did it in Cleveland because Dave lived in Cleveland. He owns a building that had a gym in it. Everybody stayed in a hotel. We met at a bar, had dinner, went back to the hotel. Next day I did like 1-to-1 sessions back to back. Forgot what it was like to coach in person. Like hadn't done it in 2 years. I was like, oh fuck, they're in front of me. Went out for dinner again, and that was literally it.
Yeah, this is the point. That is the big take home for anyone: is right now, if we look at the way the world is, everyone is on working from home. So if you think about the standard PT or online coaching client, they probably work from home. They probably speak to AI more than they speak to other humans. They probably feel I genuinely believe most people feel very lonely these days. My belief is that adults in the Western world aren't part of things anymore. They're not sports teams because that all disappeared in COVID. They're not going for coffees and catch-ups the way they did because that all died in COVID. So if you think about the average client, yes, their problem is that they're overweight, undertrained, under-muscled. They don't know about nutrition. We already know that. That's not what the events are for, in my opinion. It's to remove them from the silo of their fucking spare bedroom with the standing desk that they bought 4 years ago and they've just stood there like it's grim.
Yeah.
Think about that reality. Removing them from that and putting them back into that social environment, which is how we've fucking evolved as a species to be part of something. So you did it in America, you got them in the gym, you PT'd them. But the thing with your events is that they've always been very different. I think that's very helpful for someone to hear. Because whenever I ask a coach to run an event, their immediate assumption is, I have to take them to the gym and run a group workout. But it's seldom been just that for you.
I would say that the gym part of it is the least important part. And actually the observation of this came in the second event. So first event we did in Cleveland, maybe 10, 12 people. Everybody stayed in hotels. The next one was Nashville. And there was maybe 20 people at that. Everybody was complaining the prices of hotels, and someone suggested Airbnb, and I had never even had the thought of putting everybody in an Airbnb. So we all stayed in Airbnb, and my observation on that was everything that happened in between the gym, like when everybody was just fucking sat chilling on the sofa or fucking waking up at breakfast, or the person you had to share a room with, there was so much more conversation had, there was so much more like depth of the relationship, formed connection within that. And I was like, okay, right, the Airbnb is the move because there is more time together, and it's not up, they can fucking go and train in the gym anytime that they want. And it's not about that. It's about how they can have the conversations, and specifically with the people that I work with, because they work in such a specific area that they can't necessarily converse with normal humans about. There was a lot of that went on, so they give them a space to be able to share frustrations that they can't share in other areas. Yeah,
and we're back to the identity thing, is that if you're transforming someone, their desire, the tug in them is going to be pulling them back to the midline, the norm, the people that they were surrounded with in the office who are not on the same journey. So to put them in a room or a bedroom, weird, with this same type of people on the same journey, all of a sudden now we have that opportunity to air things that would otherwise be considered fucking bizarre to the normal people. So we went Belfast, Cleveland. Number 3 was?
Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville. So 20 here. How many were in Cleveland?
Maybe, I think 12.
Yeah, okay, so we went 12, 12, 20.
Yeah.
So it's starting to expand. But 20 seems to be your comfortable number for people turning up.
Yeah.
I want to make a point that when you first run your event, did you put pressure on how many people showed up in the Belfast event, the very first one?
No.
Because most coaches haven't run one.
No, it was a case of I put it out to everybody, and I mean, I had zero expectation going into it. The fact that I had 12 people, I was fucking hyped.
What was a win? What would you have defined as a win for that event?
The fact that they showed up.
I agree.
And didn't fucking try and shag each other.
That's a bonus. I ran the one that 6 people came to, and I remember feeling deflated. Only 6 people came. Okay. And I've thought a lot about that. And it was a misplaced expectation that I saw people in the position that maybe you're in now. And I was like, that's what I need to do. I don't have the budget, the time, the energy, or the client base to make that happen. Honestly, your first event's not going to be huge.
No.
But if you can define the win as not people turning up, but the connection with which they have, what I know I saw, and I was interested to know if you saw it, people got FOMO from each event. Every event, more people are like, holy shit, I should have been there. Is that something that you consciously try and create, or is it more a case of I just want to make each event fucking epic such that more people come?
There definitely is an element of the FOMO in it, and my response is, I mean, you were invited the fucking same as everybody else. Like, it's on you for not fucking coming. I do try to make every event different. I do try to push the boundaries with every single event, but it's not with an intent of like, haha, you're not here. It's for everybody who does come and makes the effort, because with mine specifically, there is a lot more effort than just getting a fucking Uber down to the local gym or driving.
It's a transatlantic flight.
It's some level of flight for the majority of them. So knowing that anybody is willing to do that, to come and just fucking hang out in an Airbnb or go to the gym with me, is a win in itself.
Yeah, I totally agree. So if we've got to the point where coaches are now they're going to run an event, If you had to go right back to the start and run your first event, what I want to do is eventually I want to come to what events look like now for both of us. But before we get there, if you had to go and run your very first event now, as a gym floor PT doing a bit of online, what would you do and why?
No, me knowing myself, I would probably do something similar because there's a level of like, right, I have to fucking look after all of these people. And there's a breakdown in the barrier of I can put myself in a non-familiar situation environment-wise. There's not really an expectation on me to deliver anything, and they can mask any sort of social awkwardness with alcohol.
I am on board with this. Removing actually people from the gym environment is a very good thing for your first few events. For not just first, like that can exist forever. But in the very first case, I would not go back in time and run a lift and learn presentation on on my laptop on a plyo box, because that's the environment they already know. It's the familiar environment. Remove them from that and put them in a real world environment. Take them for a walk up a hill. Take them, just go for a fucking coffee. Like literally say to the coffee shop, I'm going to bring 15 people next Saturday morning. Is that okay? They'll be fucking hyped to host you. Take them for dinner. You don't even have to spend money. Like it can be free.
Meet me here and you fucking...
We'll walk up a hill and we'll chat. Because the point that we kind of skimmed and touched, but didn't look into much further, was it's this one-on-one with your client in an environment that isn't, hey Ben, how many reps have I got left? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
That's absolutely crucial. And then it's scaling from there. I want to make a point, and I'm curious to see where you take this, is in the first few events is going to have to be with a view to what you can afford to run.
Yeah, 100%.
If you were to run an event the way you run events every month, do you think you could afford to do it? Would the business float, or would it now be non-profitable?
Non-profitable. And I think that the point is, I guess, if you look at like profitability of the business, it's a huge investment. As an online coach, you can run a pretty profitable business because you can have pretty low outgoings expenses. The events become a huge part of that as you grow and scale them.
And so we've touched again on that. It's not the hoodie, it's not the shaker, it's not what you can put in, but what they can take out. It's the feeling, not the stuff. They don't need a box of fucking merch, despite the fact you gave me a box of it when I arrived. I totally agree on the profitability. I'll go as far as to say that the months that we run the big events, we're verging on not profitable for that month in isolation.
Yeah. But also the mental capacity that it takes to put the event on takes you away from the onboarding clients and pushing it. So it's like, it's not as high month because you've been invested in something else, and also you have a fucking enormous outgoing.
Not sustainable.
No.
With a view to making them sustainable, because we've already discussed the merits of why we would run them as coaches. If you were that beginner coach going back, take them up a hill.
Yeah.
How frequently would you run those events?
More frequently because there is no expense. Maybe once a month.
There's literally no reason not to. A run club on a fucking Sunday.
Yeah.
You could do it every single week, and it go get some of the guys together. Those guys become your stalwart. They become your Tylers.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ones that just
Shout out
come
Tyler.
to every single event.
Yeah.
But they become the guys that become the catalyst for other people wanting to come.
Yeah. And I think even if it is 24 people, good.
Even better though, because it's 1-on-4 relationship
Yeah.
between coach and client. And that's one of the problems that we now face is when we have 70 people turn up to an event, I can't do 70 one-on-ones in a meaningful fashion. So I've had to adjust my expectation and still manage to get some looking in someone's eyes, listening and not being like, when you're in your head, just whack the mic. When you're in your head and you're like, oh my God, I've got to go over there. You're trying to get across a room.
I'm not actually in this conversation because I'm trying to think about everything else that I need to do.
How are you making someone feel? Which is absolutely crucial. So the goal so far, if you're watching and wondering how am I going to run my event, is to run something that doesn't cost money if you're not in a position to spend money, setting a budget that you can afford and knowing what's coming out and going in every single month, and realistically getting people together as often as possible in that budget-free, cheap, whatever you want to call it, bracket. How would you know if you went back to being that coach and you're running these events frequently, when it was time to run something more akin to what we're doing now?
Well, I think just to go back to the point on what we said about the expectation of the one-to-one time, I have noticed that as I have ran more events and people have come to more events, there's less expectation on those people to have one-on-one time with me, and they're quite happy to have one-on-one time with somebody else. So there's less pressure as we run more because they
Make their own support networks.
Yeah, they have conversations with other people, and even to the point of like they will recognize people who are at their first event, and they will do what my job would have been if it were only me right at the start. Tyler, for example, I know that if 10 people turned up that they'd never been to the event before, he would look after them. Even fucking Andreas was doing tours of the fucking Airbnb yesterday. He's not a person to do that, but he recognizes the position that he potentially came in and what he would have wanted from it, and they sort of start to fill those roles, so there's less pressure and less expectation from them on you.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was when people start to create their own support networks. Like we have groups without silos in the Optimize Coach where they are support networks and there's a clear group, but they're always one big community when they're together. Obviously, we've touched on how much you should spend and like how it gets pretty hectic pretty quickly.
How many Amazon boxes arrived the week of the event?
Intense.
Many.
No, this is all absolutely crucial. So we're going to run events as frequently as possible. We're going to get people in a room because community, because getting people in the room is where they stay, pay, and continue to grow together. That's going to be vital for keeping people ethically invested in something.
Yeah, because it's the part of something, it's their identity. And I think we have had this conversation before. Doing the events, as stressful, hectic, crazy as it might be, is my favorite part of coaching, being able to bring the people actually together.
Well, that's one of the concerns that coaches say to me is that they don't want to come off the gym floor and move online because they like not necessarily Susan's 6 a.m. session, but this.
Yeah.
So it buys not. It's very important that you hear this, coaches, that the benefit isn't just to the clients, it's to you as well. So if you've ever found yourself saying, maybe fully online is not for me, that's fine. I'm not here to sell you fully online. But if the reason you're being pulled towards the gym is the interpersonal depth of relationship, you can have your cake and eat it. And there's a huge power in that. I've got one more question just now, and that is, if you went back and you were running those, would you, and if so, at what point, how would you know if and when to charge people to come to the events or for various parts of the event? Because I assume the first few, they were just free gratis for the client.
Yeah.
You just foot the bill.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, I'll use what actually happened. Whenever it came to, there are other elements like accommodation. So when it was the first WeHackHealth event, they were staying in a hotel. I wasn't going to fucking navigate that for them. Like, you're fucking grown adult, book your own hotel. So like when it came to paying for accommodation or an extended period of time beyond one night, 2, 3, 4, 5 days,
Yeah.
like the amount that's spent in an event as it is absurd. So taking that on board as well is completely unrealistic, I believe.
So there is a point at which you can offset that.
Yeah, for sure.
My argument would be that you have to build the runway of it being free first. We still don't charge people to come to our events.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that. I'm going to ask you a spicy question. Mm-hmm. What do you reckon you spend on an average event now?
This one's different because I'm here.
This is a home event, so it's going to be cheaper because you own.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you factor in how much you spent on
True.
the
I built the fucking place.
US event, how much do you spend on average?
Anywhere from 30,000 up to the Phoenix event cost nearly $100,000.
Which is fucking insane. But I think very important for someone to hear.
Yeah.
Is that that's an investment, and when you spend, let's say the average of that's about 70 grand dollars. How much do you make?
Zero. Initially. Nothing.
Elaborate on the initially part.
Zero initially because there's no, okay, yes, so they foot some of the bill in terms of their accommodation, they book their own flights, whatever else. But it's not profitable. It is an expense.
In the short term, zoomed right in on I spent 70, I clawed back 10 on accommodation.
Yeah.
You've still subsidized
yes.
it. So you're still at 60. And there was no ticket sale.
No.
There was no new client sales.
No.
Okay, so it's not about money, but you're not making money today, but are you making money off it?
Eventually, yes, because it then becomes people see it and go, that's fucking cool. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
It's the clients that come after that. I saw you were in this. I saw you were doing that. I'm really keen for that. I live
My
in this
friend
place.
so-and-so was it.
Yes. Yeah. I need to be a part of that. And it comes down the line. Maybe not the month after, but at some point someone will come and say, I saw your events. I fucking can't not come to them.
But one discussion that we had that is vital to maybe be our final point is at our last event that you were at in Glasgow, you helped me see the opportunity that was in front of me. You know where I'm going with this?
Yep.
Right. So we had the venue told us that there was actually capacity for 10 more. Great. That was 3 days before the event. So we put on Instagram that there was space for 10 people to come, and we allowed people to apply to come. So if you are a coach and you're going to run even the hike or the coffee morning or the run club, couple of things we can do to make money off the back of it. We're not looking to make money on the event. As you've just said, we're looking to make money in the long haul. The easiest way to do that and expedite the process of making more money is say to Susan, Sally, and Colin that are coming to your run club, they can bring a mate for free, and you're not going to charge them anything. Those mates are now embedded and they can see it, and most importantly, as we've said, feel what it's like to be in the room, so to speak. So those people then become warmer leads at very least. So to make this real, when we did that, we had about 15 people apply, and we found 4 that were good fits for our business. In the room, 2 of them asked to sign up, which proved the hunch.
It was a hunch, but we have experienced it. How many events were you at that even were paid, and then at the end they'd be like, oh, we have this other thing that's this, and we didn't do this, but like we have this other thing that's discounted. This person's at the back with a fucking credit card machine. So we have seen it so many times. Yeah, but we have never actually executed on it. But to your point, it works.
Getting those people in the room, I think that's a great point to end on, is you can get them to bring friends, and when they bring friends, the friends are going to feel. The goal is the feel. If the friend feel, they're now warmer lead. Better yet, you get them along like the guys did. Greg, shout out to Greg, said to me, when he came to Glasgow, he came up to me and said, this is a really important story to tell. He said, he came up to me at the end and everyone was speaking to me, and he said, can I get a minute? I said, of course you can. He's like, I'd love to sign up. This is fucking epic. He's like, can I book a call in with you? I was like, you can, but not right now. He's like, what do you mean not right now? It's like, these are my people. This is my time with them. I absolutely will book you in, but what's most important is that I'm spending time. Well, that's okay. And he said to me after the fact that was one of the first things that made him want to buy even more, was the fact that I was like, nah, this is my time with them. Secondarily to that, when he got on his kickoff call, he said to me that he saw a lot of hugging in the room when people didn't handshake, they hugged each other. And he found it a bit weird. He's like, what, the Scottish guy, right? Like, what the fuck? Now, he said off the back of his kickoff call, he's like, I already from the room and from this singular chat with you, I totally get it. Like, it makes a lot of sense. My opinion is, and what I know of events, that this is a great roundup, is the goal of the event is the feel. For the client, in terms of they feel part of something, which we started with. For the potential friend, which is that, oh my God, this thing is fucking class. But also for you and I, or the coach, because I know that you have 2 feelings, which is absolutely fucking nuked, because I know I do. But also super fulfilled, like this is my opportunity to do the thing that I love the most.
Mm-hmm. But again, to just, I guess, emphasize your point, I sat with Thomas, Jen, Lorena, Sean, and Dill, the coaches meeting on Monday. And my question to them was like, we understand it because we're in it. So we get it. We get what it is to be a part of it. We understand the feeling of it. How the fuck
do you communicate that?
Do we communicate that? Because I would even think, and I know for a fact that even if they have seen an event and they have a call and they do sign up, they don't necessarily know what they're getting into. Whenever they're in it, they fully understand it. So how do you communicate that externally? And to your point, it is bring other people in and show them what it's like, show them what it feels like.
Well, there's a great nugget to cap out then. Film it, video it. Do not take your mate with my mate has a camera. It's like a fucking retro camcorder. Make the investment in someone with a camera to capture the video so that you can share that in content and speak to your clients, even if that's just interviewing them, because that conveys the feel in their words, and that is a great place to stop, is that show, don't tell. You making a video to tell me why your events are great, I don't give a fuck as a prospect. Of course you think they're great. You fucking make them, and you're probably going to make some money off the back of it. Mm-hmm. But if...
We brought Rory so we could have it almost live. Like, his sole job is to film for like an hour and then just fucking put it out. Like, it is as up to date. This is what's happening right now. So it's like, here we are. This, like, if you want to be a part of this, this is how you do it.
Sweet. Well, thank you for your time as ever. Pleasure to dig into how to spend $100,000 on a weekend in fucking Cleveland. Follow us for more fitness business.
How to spend more money in more places.
Dude, I appreciate it. And for what it's worth, the events are fucking class. But I will close by saying, if you are going to start events and you want my one pro tip, which is a bit offline, is this. Find yourself an industry friend that gets it. And that is mine there. That when I am in an event, I can look at Ben and communicate something that I don't say anything, but he'll turn up to the side of the stage and be like, is this what you need? And he will fucking get it. Because when you're in it, it's very difficult to manage everyone's expectations, your energy, your emotions, everything. If you can take a mate, you're going to have some emotional support, but you're also going to be able to share the journey. And like, whilst it's been great for you to know I need X, Y, or Z, that's helpful. You know, I don't need it. It's helpful. What I do think I do need is it's just the emotional support of being able to offline after the event, go back to the house and just chat about what worked and what didn't.
The
because
debrief.
those thoughts are trapped in my head. So that's an absolute fucking pro tip to close on. Until the next one, guys, it's been a pleasure. Go run your client events. Don't worry about money. Let's run an event. Let's get them doing something free. Let's ask them to bring their friends. And let's just make sure we focus. You're going to write this word down and underline it on feelings and nothing else. See you in the next one.